Hello and welcome to Sports News Africa, the home of Africa's sporting conversation. Here's a look at some of the stories making the headlines today. Sierra Leone Football Association Congress called off in a crisis after a row about delegate membership. The Leopards of Congo beat Samuha in the first leg of the Champions League last 16. And a first-half goal sees Kano Pillars beat rivals Enyimba in the Nigeria Premier League. Thank you for watching Sports News Africa. I'm Chimis Kentebesai. We begin in Sierra Leone, where the Football Association Congress in Makeni came to an abrupt end at the weekend just a few hours after it had begun. The row came during deliberations on the roll call as some delegates rejected the names of officials for the Western Area Football Association, coaches, referees and veteran footballers associations. Lawyer Emmanuel Safa Abdullahi, who represented Premier League club Old Edwardians at the Congress, argued the case of the Western Area, denouncing those announced as WAFA delegates and labeled them impersonators. However, there were counter-arguments to the point that it got confrontational, and Dr. Patrick Coker of the National Olympic Committee had to call off the Congress. Prior to the commencement of the Congress, there was chaos at the entrance of the Woosum Hotel when police officers stopped some stakeholders claiming to be legitimate delegates from entering the hotel. To get more on this story, we're now joined by Sierra Leone football correspondent Ali Bitar. Ali, can you tell us what happened at the Woosum Hotel in Makeni?
Basically, it was just everything was total in disarray because it was not, the Congress doesn't go according to plan, and which was a big disappointment for everyone involved in football, because this was a conference that was called, by the president, and the president of Sierra Leone wanted this conference to go ahead so football can return back as normal. And unfortunately, it doesn't go according to plan, and there was alleged manipulation, according to some of the stakeholders. And I've just spoken to the deputy sports minister, and it just reiterates the same thing, that the whole thing was manipulated by the SLFA executive, and that's bring the whole Congress into an abrupt end. The police presence, some of them claiming, they were intimidated by police officers that was sent by the SLFA executive. So how true is that? I'm not there. I'm not sure about what's have transpired, but some of the interview I've done with some of the stakeholders, they talk about manipulation, and that brings everything into the delegate pointing fingers at each other and just saying, we're not going to accept this because, some of the original list that was supposed to be for the delegates and was tampered with, and it just ended up the way nobody expected, really.
Can you explain what you mean when you say manipulation?
Well, I spoke to the head of All Edwardians Football Club, and he said they refused accreditation to the legal, what he described the term legal delegates, and some of them also were, instead of delegates, they were there as observers. And these people are not supposed to be there as observers. These people are supposed to, participating in the Congress. And according to him, the roll call, after the chairman, Dr. Patrick Coker, called the roll call, and they find out that most of the names, for their own delegates were not involved. And that's, it's almost ending to confrontation between some of the stakeholders and members of the SLFA executive, and the chairman, Dr. Patrick Coker, who is also the NOC president. He has to call off the Congress because there was nothing was going according to plan. Everything was basically everything was basically just in a sense, not the constitution I would say was not really amended for this Congress, because so much has to be dealt with in where most of the, according to the delegate, most of the constitutions have been tampered with. And so in a sense, it's like the SLFA, what they're claiming, the SLFA changed certain things that doesn't work in the delegate's favor. So that's what they claim, it's manipulating the whole Congress.
Why do you think some SLFA members are so unhappy with Aisha Johansson's administration?
I think they feel the Aisha Johansson-led executive basically doesn't recognize them, and they want to be recognized. They want to be recognized as part of the football family. And until then, they feel it's a disrespect because they have contributed to football. They are the ones that are running the clubs. They are the ones that are, spending their money in their own terms. So until, they've been recognized, they're very, very unhappy, and they're not ready, in some sense, they're not ready to work with the present SLFA executive.
Ali Bitar, thank you for speaking to Sports News Africa. To the CAF Champions League next, the Leopards of Congo take a 1-0 advantage going to the second leg of the last 16 when they travel to Egypt to take on Samoa. The game's only goal came in the first half from the penalty spot. Samoa, who finished runners-up in the Egyptian Premier League last season, need to win by 2 clear goals in the return leg if they are to advance in the competition.
Sunday afternoon in Dolisie, Republic of Congo, saw the matchup between Egypt's Moha and the home side AC Leopards in the CAF Champions League second round. The two teams were deadlocked for the first half hour of the game when AC Leopards captain Rudy Gaylord Bebe got his head to the ball and netted in the 31st minute. AC Leopards coach Lamine Diaye expressed confidence in his team's ability to rise to a better standard of play.
I believe that the qualifiers will be played in 15 days. We can play better abroad than we did here today. We can't know whether we have qualified today because there is a second game.
Fans were happy with the team's performance.
The match went well out here at Denis Sassou Nguesso. We are not disappointed because we won the match by 1-0.
Leopards will be traveling to Egypt for the second leg match, due to be played on May 2nd. If AC Leopards win the second leg of the last 16 matches, then they will progress to the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League.
And here's a quick look at the results from the CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup from the weekend. Malian came from behind to draw against TP Mazembe of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Sudan's Al Merrikh claimed a shock 1-0 win at home to ES Tunis. Entente Setif scored 2 goals away in the draw with Raja Casablanca. It's been a good weekend for Sudanese clubs. Al Hilal grabbed a 1-0 away win at Sanga Balende. There were a couple of North African derbies. Algerian Ulma beat Tunis Sfaxien, while Moroccan champions Maghreb Tetouan defeated Al Ahly of Egypt. In the Confederation Cup, South Africa's only remaining side, Orlando Pirates, secured a 2-2 draw away to Mounana. The all-North African clash between Algeria's Assos Schlef and Club Africain of Tunisia finished in a draw. Giant killers Royal Leopards from Swaziland have done it again. The team, made up of police officers, defeated 2014 Champions League finalist AS Vita Club in their last 16 first-leg clash. Nigeria's Wari Wolves were 2-1 winners of FCMK of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Welcome back to Sports News Africa. Hosts Kano Pillars humbled rivals Enyimba 1-0 at the Sani Abacha Stadium to tighten their hold at the top of the Nigerian Premier League. Pillars haven't lost to Enyimba at home in 11 years as they continue the defense of their title. The big game marked the return of the Premier League after it was put on hold for the presidential and state elections.
The Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano was filled with fans on Sunday as Nigeria's Premier League swung back into action with a match between two of the league's oldest rivals, Kano Pillars and Enyimba FC. The league entered its fourth week after a break for general elections. Despite picking up 3 points, the hosts also picked up a few match pointers.
We learned so many lessons because, you see, Enyimba is a big team. They are physically fit. You know, we are thinking that our players are physically fit than any club in Nigeria. But by the time we play match with Enyimba, we see we have so many things that we should make to correct so many things in our team.
Both sides were desperate to return to winning ways after failing to progress to the next round of the African Champions League, but Kano Pillars were visibly the better side of the afternoon.
As many goals in round two, we could have scored almost 4 or 5 goals instantly, but we thank God the one goal is okay.
The loss extends Enyimba's losing streak at Kano Pillars' home turf to 11 years. The hosts have now turned their focus to the next match with a hope of maintaining their winning form.
I'm very happy the way we have played today because the team is very unexpected. It's very high expectation about the match. So I'm thank God that. So I'm trying to go to Nasarawa United to pick at least a draw or win because this is the starting of the season. It's just 4 weeks old.
Kano Pillars have now climbed up the table to position 6, with Enyimba at position 9 after 4 weeks of league action.
Time now to take a look at some of the other stories making the headlines across the continent. The Ethiopian Football Federation says it's terminating the contract of head coach Mariano Barreto at the end of the month. A statement by the federation said Barreto will leave by mutual agreement halfway through his 2-year contract, following a disappointing string of results that saw Ethiopia finish bottom of their 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying group. Madagascar ended Senegal's quest for a second successive CAF African Beach Soccer title, beating the Lions of Teranga 2-1 in the penalty shootout after the game had finished goalless in regulation and extra time in the Seychelles. Both teams will represent Africa in the upcoming 2015 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup in Portugal. Kenya's Cheshire Jacob won the 25th edition of the Hanover Marathon in Germany on Sunday. Jacob warded off stiff competition from Ethiopia's Chala Bekele in the final kilometre to cross the finish line first. In the women's race, Algeria's national marathon record holder Suad Ait Salim built a big lead in the second half of the race to emerge comfortable winner. And defending world champion Lewis Hamilton extended his lead in this year's Formula One title race on Sunday when he drove to a near-flawless victory in the Bahrain Grand Prix. Starting from the 42nd pole position of his career, Hamilton beat Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen with Hamilton's Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg in third. Uganda has won the Africa Zone 6 Golf Championship for the first time after beating defending champion South Africa in Kampala. South Africa have previously dominated the 3-day contest, winning the event 19 times out of 20, with Kenya the only team to break their stranglehold on the event in 2010.
It was a huge day for Ugandan golf on Saturday as the country clinched their maiden Africa Zone 6 Golf Championship trophy. Ugandan player Patrick Ochaya patted in the ball at the 19th hole to beat Namibian Gabriel Shikodi 5-3, much to the excitement of the crowd. Ochaya received a standing ovation as the score put them a point above the defending champions South Africa.
Of course, about the performance that we've had, I was always telling everyone on the TV, Bana, we knew the thingy, we knew that we'll take the trophy. We only had a strategy of getting 8, but we ended up getting 6.5, 6, and 6. So from the start, by the way, we knew that we shall take it.
The tournament favourites South Africa finished runners-up after a 4-year winning streak at the competition. The Southerners have won 19 times in 21 outings at the tournament.
Competition this year was good. I think that it was better than the past years. Usually South Africa always runs away with it. This year we had quite a few guys beating them. Some of the Ugandan guys themselves won quite a few matches against them. So the competition was much tighter than in years before, which made it more interesting, which was nice.
Golf analyst Innocent Ndawula said the Ugandan performance saw several firsts.
It's been a very good competition, and no team, I can tell you, no team again has led from day one and won this championship when South Africa has competed. We know it's been 21 editions now, and South Africa have won 19 of them. Kenya winning the odd one in Mombasa in 2010, and now Uganda coming on to show that home advantage really counts in sport.
Uganda finished first with 18.5 points, with South Africa following closely at 17.5. Zimbabwe were third with 16.5 points, and Kenya came fourth at 15.5.
You're watching Sports News Africa. The Ethiopian Athletics Federation has held a ceremony to laud the achievements of its junior cross-country squad. The young athletes were rewarded with financial prizes from Ethiopia athletics officials in Addis Ababa.
Ethiopia's top junior athletes were on Saturday awarded money vouchers after the country emerged on top at the recently concluded IAAF World Cross Country Championships. Ethiopia bagged gold in both the men's and the women's junior cross country races, dominating their event, beating their closest rival, Kenya. Ethiopian Athletics Federation disbursed the equivalent of almost $37,000 at the event.
The first award goes to heroes who registered remarkable achievements at the 12th African Youth Championship. There are about 114 athletes in total. We got about 28 medals in this competition. We have given prizes to all athletes based on their merits, starting with those who got medals up to those who got diplomas.
Athletes at the event regarded the move favorably.
The prizes are very motivating. It means that they recognize our efforts. It makes me understand that if we work hard and make a difference, they will understand our hard work and reward.
The Athletics Federation spent about $28,000 on cash vouchers for the 12th African Youth Championships participants and approximately $8,700 on the IAAF World Cross Country Championship medalists. Ethiopia has been trying to provide better support for its athletes and improve management across all sports.
Here's how the weekend games in the Premier League finished then. West Brom got a much-needed win at Crystal Palace to move further away from the drop zone. Leicester saw off Swansea 2-0 to climb off the bottom of the table. Senegalese forward Mohamed Biram Diouf scored the equaliser as Stoke went on to beat Southampton. On Sunday, Manchester City returned to winning ways to strengthen their grip on fourth place, but there was more misery for West Ham as they may be without Senegal international Diafra Sakho for the rest of the season. He's out with a thigh injury. Chelsea are within touching distance of the title now, but the race for second place could be a tight one between Arsenal and the two Manchesters. A resurgent Leicester City side have now secured 3 consecutive wins to move away from the bottom of the table. They leapfrog QPR and Burnley to 18th. Aston Villa, Sunderland and Hull are not safe from the drop zone either. And that's the end of Sports News Africa for today. Join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you all the latest from Africa and around the world. Bye for now.